of that person. Or even if you are an adult and you miss your father, or your father was not there for you, and you still harbor some form of resentment, like my father was an absentee father, and you just don't see the big deal. What is it about this Father's Day? Because it's important. Depending on the experiences you had, you may feel that fathers are not needed, probably because you were raised by a strong single mom that was very good at playing the role of both mom and dad, irrespective of your situation or what your upbringing was like. The truth of the matter is that God created the family, and He believes that father and mother should be there to raise their children together. So, whether you now experience the ideal situation or not does not mean that fathers are not needed or they are not important. So, kudos to you, fathers, that are doing a good job. And to the fathers that are yet to step up on their role, this is also a shout out for you. So, take a seat and let's roll as we talk more about fatherhood. So, you are welcome to this broadcast, and do well to share the link and invite your friends to join us. Thank you.
It's also good to also acknowledge all those that have also lost their fathers or father figure in their life in this COVID pandemic. Our heart goes out to you, and we want to say God will grant you the fortitude to bear the loss. Also for anybody who has lost a dad at any point in time. My dad died many years ago. My wife also died many years ago. So days like this comes with mixed feelings from some of us, but thank God for life. Thank God for that. So in talking about fathers, we just want to also make a couple of caveats, because it's a more sensitive world where people always like to be politically correct and things like that. Please note, this session is not supposed to be comparing fathers to mothers. So we're not looking out to do a debate on who is better between fathers and mothers. That's not what we're out to do. We just want to identify the peculiar role of fathers. It's not in comparison to the mother. It's just a peculiar role of fathers. Also, we're not trying to elevate the roles of the father above the mother. I remember a couple of years back on Father's Day, I did a series on Twitter talking about the roles of fathers, and somebody came and insulted me and said, so if the father does all of this, am I saying that mothers don't have any responsibility? I said, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying these are the roles of father. If I say this is the role of a goalkeeper, do I mean that there is no role for a striker or there's no role for a defender? Mm-hmm. Also, for us to say our belief based on two very solid sources. One, the Bible, for those of us that are Christians, and also social research from social sciences, is that the two-parent family is the ideal. In spite of your circumstance, the ideal is to have the father and the mother in the home. And the goal should be for that. But we also understand some people can't achieve that. Some people have lost their parents, some fathers, some wives have lost their spouses, either through death, or some spouses are not there, or there have been separation or divorce. Well, the issue is that north, east, west, and south remains north, east, west, and south, even though you are facing any direction. So one of the things we want to throw out is that the two-parent household of a male father and a female mother is what we consider the ideal and what we want to promote. So that's just to make some clarification before we go ahead, before people start to get very sensitive about this. And then we just want to talk a couple about 7 things that we think fathers should strive to do at times like this and all the time. And please know the 7 things we want to identify are things that you don't need any experience to do, you don't need any certificate to do, and you don't need any money to do. Right. So we're not going to be emphasizing those things that you need to first go and get some form of qualification to do. We're saying what any father can do those 7 things we want to identify. They don't cost, the only thing it costs the father is to decide to do it. It doesn't cost him any other thing. So I'm going to start. And the first thing, and like I said, all the subjects we're going to say are not things that you need to go look for money to do. The first thing is that each father must be present for the children and the family. But you want to talk about that?
Yes, fathers need to be present. Unfortunately, some fathers believe that their main role is to look for money and provide for the family. So you hear them say things like, I'm working for you. It's because of you I'm doing this. And they spend a lot of energy and a lot of their time to make money because essentially there's just something in their mind that tells them that is my duty to do. It's like every other thing can wait. But really, babies don't keep. Your children, if you have a child that is 2 year old today, that child will not remain 2 year old. While you say, let me just go and hustle, let me just go and make money. By the time the child is 10, then you are now trying to pay attention to the child. You've lost 8 good years of that child's life. So be present. In this COVID period, there are still fathers that are at home, but they are not present. They are at home on their phone, on their laptop. You will see fathers blocking their ears with earpiece, all in the name of listening to one program or the other. And the whole family is there. The father is there, but not really there. So you need to be present. You need to be involved in your children's life. You need to be there for your wife. Your role is not just to make money, because really anybody can make money. Is it that your wife is not making money or cannot make money? Most of the time, some women can even make more money than the husband. So your role is not make money, make money, make money. Your role is to be there for them physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, in every way. Just be present.
Okay. Very great point, and something that we need to emphasize. It's also important for us to start to think about what is the situation in Nigeria. There are quite a number of children today who are living with their mothers but not with their dads. The dads are not there. Let me just mention this to you so that you can get the context. In Nigeria, there are 8 states that over 10% of the children are not living with their fathers. The state with the highest case is Bayelsa State. 19.2% of children are living without their fathers. Followed by Akwa Ibom State, 14.8%, then Ondo State, then Delta, then Cross River, then Ekiti, then Rivers, and Imo. Those are the states that have over 10% of children not living with their dad. Now, you have a couple of other states, Kogi State, Ogun State, Edo State, and Osun State. And this is data from Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, where children are living with that. So if it's something we need to deal with, we need to ensure that we have our fathers present at home and also present in a present manner. I need to use that English. I mean, not just, they say we should present at home. No, you're present. These children should know you are there. So that's the first thing. I remember we said those 7 things are things that you don't need money for. To be present, for example, does not cost you money. You don't need to go and get a certificate to be present for your children. So that's the first one, be present. Number 2 is that you need to be involved in the lives of your children. I'm going to start that and I'll ask her to talk a bit about that. There's so many fathers that seems to take a lot of pressure showing that they are not involved in what their children do. Some fathers say, no, I don't have time for homework. I don't have time for this. Your child needs to go for a sports event or needs to go for a meet. And you're like, no. I mean, that's not for things I get involved with. Or the funny one that many fathers do is things like parents' association meetings in schools. And they'll be like, no, I don't have time for things like that. One very interesting person that, as to me, has been a great challenge to me as a father is, former US President Barack Obama. When President Barack Obama was in office, he opted to become one of the coaches of the daughters' basketball teams. Why was he doing that? To be involved in the life of that child. So I know you are busy, but I'm not sure you're as busy as the President of the United States.
Mhm.
And the man could offer to become a coach. Just so be involved. Your child likes to walk or likes to dance or get involved. Your child's homework. Don't let homework be the responsibility of your wife alone. Be involved. Be involved in your child's interests. Oh, I have a child who loves football. Be involved.
Mm.
If you have a child that loves to watch wrestling, be involved. If you have a child that likes to watch computer game or play computer game, even if you don't play it, be involved. You can stay there and ask, okay, so what is this button? Who is this person? Who is that? Be involved. So we are saying don't just be present, which is the first thing. The second thing, you must be involved in the lives of the family, the children, and your spouse. We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, so talking about you being involved, you see, we need to build or create memories with our kids. Um, if you want to think back, you definitely, if you lived with your parents, you definitely will have some memories of, oh, I used to do this with my mom. I used to do this with my dad. Oh, I remember when dad used to do this for us. But in your own time now, ask yourself, what are the memories you are building? What are the memories you are creating? What are the things you want these kids to remember in years to come that you did with them? Do you just want them to remember the gifts you gave them? Oh, daddy used to spoil us with gifts. And most fathers use gift to overcompensate for their absence. So there is just a guilty part of you that feel, let me buy all these fancy gifts so that they know that I love them. You see, with children, love is spelled Time. Love is spelled time spent with them. It is not about the gifts that you give to them. So be involved intentionally. You want them to have certain memories about you, and that should guide the activities you want to do with them and the amount of time you want to spend with them. So be involved in their life. Don't just throw gifts at them.
Okay, great points, and that's something that we need to emphasize. So, if there's a father watching us, I think you just ask yourself, so how do I get involved? I mean, just observe your child and put yourself into whatever he's doing. So, if you have a child that still play with Lego, join him or her to play with Lego. If you still have a child who is playing with dolls, join the child to play with dolls. If you have a child who's playing with tractors or with counters, we used to do when we were young, get involved. Ask the child what's the name of your best friend in school. Ask the child what's your biggest fear. What do you want to become? Have conversations with your children. Be involved. Make sure that at the end of the day, you are able to do whatever will make that child know you are part of his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to help you. So we have talked about one, and that's that be present. Number two is be involved. Number three is that you must be a visionary in leading your family the right way. You must be a visionary. Have an idea of what you want your family to be and show them that vision and guide them in that path. That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. So um, most men, we say, I am a leader. I'm the head of my family. I am. Don't you know that I am the head of this family? So your headship, Mr. Man, is not just by you slamming it on everybody so that we will know you are the head. What the head does is that the head is where the eyes are. It can see. So when you say you are the head of the family and you are a father, you should be a visionary. You should be able to cast a vision for the household. You shouldn't be an ignoramus. And if you are an ignoramus, there is a solution to that. The solution of ignorance is knowledge. So you need to seek knowledge about how to play your role in that family. Don't just feel that because you're 40 years old, that means you know it. No, you don't. Because in life, we have to keep learning. Every position you get to, you need to learn, you need to acquire the skills that will help you do the job very well. So, learn how to be a father, learn how to be a husband, learn how to meet the needs of your family, be able to lead them, not bully them into submission, not harass them, but be a servant leader. Lead them in the direction you believe God is taking you people. So that's it. Be a leader.
Okay, be a leader, be a visionary. Do your best to cast a vision for your family. If you want your family to be such that people love themselves, people are sacrificial, people are open, people are kind, cast that vision for your children and ensure they live by it. So you know the visionary at the end of the day. That's number 4. Like I said, everything we're going to mention here, it doesn't cost you money. There are things you can do with little or no financial resources. Number 5, you must be exemplary in character and behavior. Also, be exemplary in character and behavior.
So you can't be the leader that says, do as I say and not as I do. So this is very, very, very important. As you are a father and you know your kids are watching you, whatever it is that you would not want your kids to do, those things should not be found in you. So if you find your 15-year-old watching pornography, I believe you will freak out. You are going to start scolding the child. Why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing this. So, daddy, if your child shouldn't do it, that means that you yourself shouldn't do it. If you do not want your child to be involved with drugs or to be promiscuous, you too should not. If you don't want your child to be telling lies so for you to be able to judge the disobedience of other people, then your own obedience should be complete. If you are a Christian, ask yourself, are you really obeying God's word? Are you living your life the way you should live your life, according to God's word and precept? If you are breaking God's rule, you are disobeying God. So, Mr. Man, what is the spiritual authority that you have that should make your children to respect and to obey you? Because you're already breaking spiritual principles. You are not subject to God. You are not subject to authority. And you now want to exact your authority over your kids. In that way, you will be raising rebellious children. So, as a father, know that these people are watching you. And when you misbehave, when you live carelessly, you are just giving them opportunity to also take the same path. So watch yourself. We are watching.
Okay. Yeah, you have to just be a very good example. Lay good example. Don't be the father that will say, do as I say, don't do as I do. Be that good example. If you don't want something to happen in your family, don't do it. If you do it, they're going to see it. Remember, children don't hear what you say, they do what they see. So you've got to be exemplary. You've got to show the right behaviors. I mean, she gave the example of pornography. I mean, it could also be something as simple as kind of film to watch. I remember I had a conversation with my son many years ago now, and it was a film that had parental guidance or something, and I was like, no, you can't watch this film because it's like it's science parental guidance. And I remember one of them said, yeah, but you're here. your parents. So if they say it's parental guidance, that means you can't watch it without you being there. And I said, yeah, I understand. But I want you to also know that I also, as your parent, I also have a parent who is God. So I feel that God would not want me as a parent to watch this film. So I'm not going to be here and you're not going to be watching it. And we're able to deal with it. So we need to do that. Things as simple as what you do with your phone, right? So if you want your children to be transparent in the use of their phone, you've got to be transparent too. So if you password your phone, now I'm not talking about toddlers who could come and destroy your phone or whatever, but if you want your teen child or your adolescent child to also be open with his phone and you password your phone, he's going to password his own phone and there's nothing you're going to do about it. So be an example. If you want your child not to be abusive, you don't abuse people. If you want your child to be kind, be kind. If you don't want your child to be nice, be nice. If you want your child to be neat, be neat. If you want your child to love to read, read. I mean, a friend of mine was telling me this. So he said, I think the daughter was given an essay in school, and the essay was that what do write about the life of your dad. I think he was maybe very low, maybe like very 100. So he said, "Oh, my dad is a person that goes to work. He goes to work in the morning. He comes back in the evening, and then when he gets back, he has his bath. He puts his leg on the table and reads newspaper, and then eats and goes to sleep." So my friend was like, why would my daughter write about me? And I was like, yeah, but that's what she has seen you do. I say, if you have seen you read, the daughter will say, my dad will read, but the daughter has not seen you read. The daughter sees you come back from work, you go and have your bite, you put your leg on the table, and then you read newspaper, and then they serve you food, and then you go to sleep. He said, but she can't write it. I said, well, I'm not saying she can write it. Are you saying you don't do that? Children follow our example. So that's number 5. Remember, I've said all those things you don't need money to do. The example doesn't go. Number 6 is you have to be responsible. Responsible. Because I talk about being responsible.
So be responsible in providing for your household. So when we talk about you being responsible to provide, so provision will come in form of money, but it's not limited to that. So don't think when we say provide for your household, then that means that that's all you have to do. But that includes what you have to do. Every person that is of age, should that have capacity to earn an income.
Yeah.
The instruction is that you should provide for your household. So as a man, you should provide. Now, we hear so many stories and see so many homes where the men, because they are married to very responsible, industrious, hardworking women, now they just take that as an opportunity to be lazy. They just feel that, some jobs are beneath them, or, no, I want to follow my dream. Motivational speakers are not helping you because you cannot just say you want to follow your dream. Your dream is to be a public speaker, or your dream is to give me an example of a dream or a passion, something you just love to do. So this thing you love to do is not bringing an income.
Yeah.
And you have bills to pay. You have a wife, you have children that need money to survive. That is not the time you should say you want to follow your dream. That dream that is not bringing shishi, that is not bringing any money, you are chasing that dream up and down. So who is supposed to take up your responsibility? So as a father, nobody is saying that you shouldn't follow your dream, but not at the expense of your family. Do not leave your family to suffer, all because you are chasing one dream. Your responsibility to your family should come first.
Yeah.
When you have paid your bills and you are, at least you know that they are not going hungry, then chase your dream. Don't leave them hungry. while you are chasing some dreams that is not feeding anybody.
Okay, it's important for like you said, that I've said it many times. All these points were raising are things that you don't necessarily need money to do. So in this particular one, we have said you have to be responsible. Now, let's assume you are a man, right, and you lost your job, and you're not able to bring money home again. You can still be responsible in spite of the fact that you don't have any source of income. You can be responsible with that. Remember, when it comes to family finances, our responsibilities are several. One responsibility is to bring money into the family, which the husband and the wife should do. That's what is going to be the best for the both of you. But at the same time, too, that two of you also have the responsibility, for example, to reduce the amount of your money that is going out of the family. So you were working and then you lost your job and then you can't make an income any longer. You can look at the way you spend money in the house and ask, now that I have more time on my hand, what kind of things can I do to ensure money does not flow out? So, for example, let's say for the sake of illustration, you guys have a car, but you pay for school bus. You can say, well, since I've not started gotten a job yet, I'll take on the role of taking the children to school and bringing them, and then we will not pay for the school bus. So while you have not brought money into the house, you have ensured that money has not flown out. If, for example, you know how to cut hair and you have 3 boys, and every weekend you go take the child to the barbering salon and they charge whatever amount they charge, and you're like, oh, this is what we spend per month. I can cut their hair, and these children are young. So you decide to start cutting the hair. You are not brought money into the house, but you have ensured money did not go out unnecessarily. That's what it means to be responsible. If it is that your wife is the one that is currently working and you are not working, part of being responsible is what can you do to ensure the woman is having more comfort because of the fact that she's the one working. So you don't say your wife leaves the house at 5:30, comes home at 8:30. You don't expect, when the two of you are working, you may think you have some expectation. Please mind me when I say you may think, but now that's changed. She leaves the house at 5:30, you don't leave the house, and she comes back at 8:30. Part of being responsible, what can I do to make life easier for this woman? There are, for example, women, who don't have cars to take them to work, and they have to leave their house and trek to the bus to join the staff bus. There's no reason why you can't wake up at that same 5:30 and walk with her to the bus stop. It's part of being responsible. There's no reason why before she gets home in the evening, you have made dinner for the children and they have done their homework. It's part of being responsible. So being responsible does not necessarily have to be because you have money. If you have money, yes, you can take on some more financial responsibility. But if you don't have money, you can take on financial responsibility by ensuring we're not spending money more than we should, but by also being caring and doing what's right. So we need to be responsible. The 7th thing we're going to talk about, and that's going to be the last thing, is you must be loving to your wife and to your children. Show love, be loving to your wife. Somebody said one of the best ways to love their children is to love their mother. So you got to love. So some people have a choice. They'll say, well, I love my children, my wife. And some people say, I love my wife, my children. You've got to love both of them. They are not in competition. You can make both happen. What I want to talk about that.
Yeah. So husband, love your wife. That's God's commandment. And how would you love her? You should love her by being sacrificial, because that's essentially what the Bible says. It says that you should love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. So that's sacrifice. Now, in the course of counseling, when you hear things that happen in homes, you just wonder that this is an anomaly. A man that will not want to be inconvenienced in any way. As far as he is concerned, his own needs come first. That is not a leader. And that does not show that you are loving your wife or you are loving your children. The institution called marriage requires sacrifice. If you are not ready to be sacrificial, if you are not ready to put other people ahead of you, then you shouldn't marry. Because what marriage entails is that you prefer that other person before you. Now, you can tell me, hey, the Bible says that I should love my neighbor as myself. So that means that I should love myself first. I'm not saying you should not love yourself, but the fact still remains that you owe your partner, as a man, you owe your wife love, and you owe your kids love. You need to love them by being sacrificial. You need to love them by not bullying them or oppressing them. You cannot be harassing them and be demanding submission and make submission a prerequisite to you loving your wife. It's not, it doesn't flow like that. So you cannot say, at least she's supposed to submit to me. If she's not submitting, how can I love her? You are supposed to do your own part first. So it's not do me, I do you. If she submits, then I love her. If she's not submitting, leave her to our God. But you do your own bit. Love your wife, love your kids, be there for them, be sacrificial.
Okay, so we're talking about men and showing love, mothers to their wives and to the children. Remember that when you also show love to your wife, you are teaching your children. Remember, we said you should be exemplary. You are teaching your children how they too should grow up to love their wives. So please don't bully your wife, don't abuse your wife, don't insult your wife, don't disgrace your wife, don't drag your wife on the floor under any circumstance. Please let him know the name among the great men that are watching us, that you are somebody that is abusing to your wife. You treat, respect, and honor your wife. For your children, do the same thing. Love your children. Let them know, let them not be in doubt that you love them. And you know, there's some children that say that my daddy doesn't love me. Say, well, is that because he loves or whatever is the thing that love? Some even say that my dad doesn't love anybody, he just likes football. Because I've seen you make choices all over them. Before he tells you, Daddy, we have practice and take me, and guys said, no, team is playing, driver will take him. Child knows where you stand in that. So let me just quickly go back those 7 things I mentioned. We prepare the presence, doesn't cost you any money. 2, be involved in the lives of the children, it doesn't cost you any certificate to do that. Number 3, you have to be exemplary in character and show the right behaviors you want. Number 4, you have to be responsible in providing for the family. Number 5, you must be loving to the parent, to the children. 6, you must also be very visionary in leading them into the future. I left out one, and that's the final one, is that you must be a teacher. You must be a teacher and let the children know the behaviors expected of them. So, we have said the exemplary, which means show the behavior, but you got to also open your mouth and tell them what you want. In our house, we don't abuse. Lay it as a standard, reinforce it. That's where their children, they will likely test those boundaries. So you got to teach, you got to tell a child, no, you can't do that here. This behavior is not acceptable. Children will always have fight between themselves. And after the fight, you need to teach both of them to say sorry to your brother or say sorry to your sister. You need to teach your children to respect their sisters. Because when you hear all those stories of people abusing females and taking advantage of females, sometimes it starts from the home. Somebody has taught those boys that they are superior to women. We need to stop teaching our children those kind of things. We must teach our children to know both the male and female were created by God, and both of them have potential that is limitless. We must teach our children that we should stop all those bad behavior and those bad teaching that a child comes up, so John or Moses or Abraham or Isaac or Kazim comes back with his results, and Kazim comes second or John comes second, and you look at it and say, hey, he came second. So who came first? Say one girl, Elizabeth or Mary and Mary like, oh, Benny. A girl came first and you're in that class.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lesson you are teaching that child. That's a poor lesson you are teaching that child.
Mm.
So don't stop all those lessons that doesn't get us nowhere. Stop comparing your children to other children. Stop making your male child feel that is superior to every female child. Stop teaching your female child not to be able to aspire for what she wants. So this girl says in primary, whatever class she is, and says that I want to go and register for taekwondo. Stop teaching her that she go and learn how to knit. Don't do that. The child says I want to go and become a soldier. Don't tell her that women are not in the army. They are. Nigeria just recognized a couple of female Air Force pilots. Don't ever teach your children anything that will limit their potential. At the same time, don't make that mistake of teaching your children the wrong things. Don't also teach them what you don't believe. Because the children will also know. The last thing I will say this before she contributes is remember, you are dealing with children who are more intelligent now, right? They are more exposed, they have access to Google. So if you tell them something that they don't know, they could check it out. But that doesn't mean you two should not try and upgrade your knowledge so they can teach them the right things. And when they ask you questions you don't know, tell them, I don't know. Let me also mention this. They're going to come to an age where they will also start to teach you. So, you pay them to go to good schools. It helps you to know that they will likely know how to pronounce some words than you. So, for example, yesterday I said, what did I say? Prejudice. Yeah, I said prejudice. And then my son said that it's not prejudice, it's prejudice. I said, okay, prejudice. What am I teaching him? So he just taught me to correct myself. And I took the correction and I started using prejudice. I'm really actually teaching him that there's nobody that cannot be taught.
Mm.
I mean, but if I say, no, shut up, what do you mean? When did they born you? Why you want to tell me that? You are teaching the child that you can get to a point where you are not teaching.
Mm.
So, maybe you want to talk about that very briefly.
Yeah, that's very, very instructive because what is destroying several marriages is the arrogance of the men. So, because you are the father, because you are the head, you just believe that you know everything and you can't be taught. So, your marriage is having problems. You would rather not learn how to solve that problem or go for counseling, or your arrogance is just to the roof. And because you believe you know it all, or you believe that nobody can teach you. So, as a father, you are teaching your kids. Also, let them know that you are learning. When you learn, it doesn't reduce you. When you learn, it doesn't show that you are stupid. It is just that it shows that you are a very smart person that acknowledges your inadequacies, and then you are willing to go all the way out to bridge the gap. So you keep learning. So don't let us raise our boys having this over bloated sense of importance, feeling that because I'm a boy, I'm above board. A woman can't even teach me. Like a woman can't teach me. And you just move through life with that level of arrogance because they will know when you are not taking advice from your wife. If your wife can't talk to you because you will shut her down, you will say, no, what do you know? Or whatever she says doesn't matter. You will still go ahead and do what you want to do anyway. So they see all of those things. And indirectly, you are programming them to become bullies tomorrow. And they will bully their kids and bully their wives. And that's not good.
Yeah, I think one of the things we also need to be conscious of is that, as I said, the father should teach the children. That doesn't mean the woman can't teach the children because some people always want to compare. That's not what we're saying. Part of what you need to do is that you must be conscious of also those that teach your children because they've been teaching you values that you don't believe in. So let me tell you this. I was just going through Facebook some time ago and I saw this particular school. They had a picture of all their prefects. Now, the male was a sport prefect, the female was the health prefect. And I wonder why can't the lady be the sports prefect? I think I asked a child in that school. I said, I know boys are sport prefect, girls are health prefect. So I said, so why? I say, yeah, because the boys are the ones that like sport and the girls are the ones that are neat. What stereotype are you teaching to these children in primary school? School owners, please let's stop all those stereotypes. Another funny one I've seen them teach children is that in many primary schools now, the girl is called the head girl. The boy is called the senior prefect. The boy is not head boy. The boy is senior prefect, but the girl is head girl. Please, if the girl is head girl, the boy is therefore head boy. Why are you calling the male the senior prefect and calling the girl the head girl? You are teaching that girl is not on the same level with that girl. We need to be more deliberate about those things at the end of the day. Teach our children that they can aspire to become anyone or anything they want to do. Teach our children the right values. Teach our children to say the truth. Teach our children to be respectful, to show honor. Teach our children not to be racist. It's very, 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 very important. The prevalent thing we are dealing with in today's world now is the issue about racism. We need to teach our children not to be racist. We need to do that, and it includes how you converse with your wife. Say, what's happening? I don't mind those Igbo people, or don't mind those Yoruba. I don't mind those Hausa people. You are teaching your children inadvertently about that. Or maybe your cousin wants to get married and say, Uncle, I want to introduce who I'm getting married to. I want to marry and say, you can never marry from that tribe. You are teaching your child the wrong thing. So we're going to stop on that note and just talk about 5 requests you want to make of everybody. And this is the men and the women. Everybody. Number 1, we need to support the men to play those roles. So if you say a father should be responsible, that means his wife should help him in meeting those responsibilities. Number 2.
We need to train boys to become fathers. Today, you hear a lot of people saying that. So who are the people talking to boys? I mean, we have been talking to the girl child, training the girl child to be a good wife, and encouraging her to fulfill her potential. It's like there is an imbalance somewhere. The boys are really not being properly tutored or mentored. So anywhere you are as a father, as a man, and you have access to boys around you, let us all be deliberate to helping these boys to grow up to be responsible men. It should be all hands on deck.
Yeah.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, we need to train our boys to be responsible. We need to train them to take care of their junior ones. Now, that's part of one of the things we want to make them responsible. Another way to make them is to get them with pets. The other child who doesn't care about no jack, he doesn't care about nobody. Get him with pet he loves. And he starts to take care of the pet and starts to feed the pet and start to take care of cleaning up after the pet. That's part of the ways for you to teach the child to become responsible and to become sacrificial. We've got to support one another to ensure that men act as men and also boys are trained to become men. We need to do that. That's only time society will become great. Society will not become great because we have more resources. Society will become great when we have people teaching the right values and get them to understand what they have to do. Please, please, please look out for that boy in your neighborhood. And this is a call I'm making to everyone. There will be boys in your neighborhood that don't grow up with their biological fathers. They may be living with single moms or they may be living somewhere else. Reach out to that boy and be like a father figure to him. Mentor that boy, train that child on what it means to be a good dad. You can do that. Some of us, we're going to have people come, for example, to come work for us as employees or IT students or interns or contractors. We can also use those opportunities to make them become potential dads. I just ask them, so what's your plan for the future? And this gives us opportunity to impact those lives. You must always remember you have to ensure You support boys to become fathers. At the same time, you also need to support your husband or your father figures in your life to do that. The last point I want to raise is related to that is for those of us that are employees, right? Sorry, employers of labor, you need to create policies that will make fathers responsible. So if a man comes to say, "Sir, can I close early today? Today is my son's in-town sport." Don't say, "So that's why you want to close early." No, you go to support fathers to be responsible.
Mm.
I mean, so maybe for your office, for example, every year you give people gifts, end of year gifts. You can buy books for all the fathers as the end of year gifts.
Mm.
Actually, as a boss, you can send emails to all your male staff on Father's Day, telling them how you like them to be the best father possible in the world. Of course, you can't legislate them to become good fathers, but you can show them the organization is interested in making them become fathers. If you're a pastor, let there be like a father's fellowship. I know in many churches they have a brothers fellowship, a men's fellowship. It's good, but the peculiarity of being a father could also call for you to have a special session outreach to fathers on their own to get them to become what they want to be. The last call we're going to make is everybody's got father figures in their life, biological dad. Some of us, our biological dads are passed on, so we don't have that. But there are people that play father figures. Remember that guy when you were getting married that was the person that was the chairman at your wedding? When many people did not want to be chairman, that could be a father figure. It would be nice for you to call and thank the person for what you did. Remember that time that maybe you wanted to get married and your parents did not agree to be married. That uncle you went to meet that went to speak to your dad. That could be somebody you should call to appreciate what is done for you. Or your own biological dad. If you have problems with your dad that you are not speaking terms or whatever it is, or your father-in-law, on days like these are times to pick up the phone and call. Appreciate those people. Tell them you love them. If they stay close by to you and it's safe, take their grandchildren to go and visit them. Let there be no one that has a grudge, a fight, and animosity against the dad. Remember, we're talking about your role to teach your children. If you have animosity against your dad, you are teaching your children to do the same thing to you. Right? Yes. Now, and I'm not saying what your dad did is right or what caused that is right. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm just saying, let's end this cycle of failure. If your dad did not do what he should do, be the change. Stop it and become a new branch. Let your children see you do the right things to their dad. We want to talk about how we can recognize father figures in our lives, other ways.
Yeah, so you said it, we should call them, we can send gifts to them, make peace with them. And I would just want to conclude by saying, Father, become the new ancestor for your own family. So irrespective of the lineage you came from, you say, oh, that family, there is a lot of spiritual problems there. They are so problematic. My father married multiple wives. Oh, my parents' marriage failed. Whatever it is, all the abnormalities, all the dysfunction, all of those things that you witness that is in your lineage. Now, you as a father, you can be the new generation. You can be the new ancestor. A new culture, a new tradition can start from you. So all those excuses of, oh, I came from a very dysfunctional background, it does not have to define who you become or what becomes of your family. So take responsibility and be willing to work to correct all the abnormalities. And you don't have to do this alone. That's why there are professionals that can help you on this work. And maybe lastly, it is also good for you to get a mentor. So if you know that in this journey of fatherhood or being a husband, you have some struggles, you can look for someone that you know seems to have this together. That doesn't mean the person is perfect, but at least you can see that this aspect of this person's life is working. And allow the person mentor you for accountability's sake. So it doesn't reduce you, it helps you to be a better father.
Mm, yeah, yeah, very, very important. So, so you think about it, reach out to your dad tomorrow. It actually gets your spouse or yourself, do a video with the grandchildren, sing the song and sing to your dad for Father's Day or buy a gift or show. But show love to your dad. Make sure that you do the best you can do for them. Let your father enjoy these things on earth. Don't starve your dad. Don't
Okay.
don't start with anything financially, love, affection, resources. Don't. Your dad has been begging you to put him on a monthly stipend and you can afford it. Start it.
Mm.
No matter, it doesn't have to be what will break the bank. Just let it be regular and predictable. There are some people that say, I don't give my dad any money, it's okay. You're not you're not doing the best. If you can afford to give him something in addition to what he has. Be responsible. Do the best that possible. So I want to thank you for today. And special shout out to all the fathers and all the mothers that have joined us. Please join us to celebrate all the fathers in your life. On Father's Day, all the men, uh, please enjoy yourself, have the best times, and please, all the people around the fathers, celebrate them tomorrow. I think they should have a license to not do certain things tomorrow,
Like what?
like not to walk. I mean, they should be able to get breakfast in bed. I mean, make any demand and they should be celebrated. It's just one day, they only have 24 hours. So please, let's let them have the best of it. So I'll just try to read a couple of thoughts from some of us, people that joined us. Yeah, quite a number of people greeting us. Thank you so much. We appreciate. Somebody made a comment about ego and how it can affect us as fathers. Is very important. People talk a lot about the male ego, as good as it is, it could also be a big challenge, but something that we need to be conscious of. And then somebody which said it's only somebody who wants to learn and doesn't believe he knows it all that can listen to a mentor. That's the
Mm.
issue. That's very correct. I mean, people believe that. I mean, there are people they say they are unteachable. They believe they know it all. If you have a spouse like that, or if you have a child like that, you have to take it up spiritually and and handle it to make the person understand the needs to learn. Uh, it can also get experiences that will make me realize he doesn't know enough. So
Mm.
please, if you have a spouse who is always, I know too much or I too know, I take care, we call it, don't fight him. It's something to, it's a mindset issue. And mindset is for adults is not done by fight. It's by a regeneration of the mind, which is a spiritual exercise. And the mental exercise, we believe in things like that. Somebody says, yeah, God bless all fathers, especially those who are out to do the best they can be to their children. Yes, God bless all fathers and God bless all mothers and all children. Bless the world. Do the best that possible. Want to sign out?
So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for inviting your friends. The video will still be up there, so you can invite more people to watch. And we will be back next week, God willing. Let us get more feedback from you. If there are questions, we would love to hear from you. We would also love to get suggestions of what you want us to talk about. So next week, Saturday, we will be back and we will be better. So thank you for joining us and do enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Bye for now.
Yeah.